Okay, I think we'll start because it's now got to 1 o'clock. Welcome. I can see we've got some more attendees since I just spoke about 5 minutes ago. So this is the start of the presentation for Health and Social Care at Knowsley College. I am the main host, if you like. My name is Linda, and the co-host and the person who's going to be much more entertaining and informative is called Callie, and she is going to be giving you all the information about health and social care. So I'm just going to cover some basic rules, if you like. You are all muted. We cannot hear you, although we can see your names. We cannot see your faces. So all we have in front of us, but the other attendees don't have, is the names of the people who are attending. So there's only myself and Callie who are enabled to come on the screen and speak. But if you'd like to ask us any questions, and please feel free to do so, because that's why we're here. You'll see on the right hand side of the screen there is a chat facility. You'll also see some messages which we've just put between ourselves. But what we are keen to do, as I say, is to answer any queries that you may have about coming and starting at Knowsley College. So to start off, I've just got a few housekeeping things, and I've got a very short presentation just about college generally. If you just bear with me. Okay, so as I say, this is all about health and social care and Knowsley College. So first of all, applications are still open. The people watching this are going to be in different categories. You may be a returning student, in which case you'll already know a little bit about college. It may be that you applied before we went into lockdown and attended an interview, in which case you will already have a conditional offer to place. You may have applied after lockdown. In that case, you'll be receiving a phone call, and we've only just started doing this, so don't panic if you haven't yet heard from us. It'll be from Wednesday last week until close of Wednesday this week, and that'll just be to chat through a few parts of the course, make sure you're going to be on the right level, and so on and so forth. And the final area of people who may be listening to this is people who haven't yet applied. So this message is crucial for you. Applications are still open. It's been a strange year. Things aren't running as they would normally do, and we're all just trying to work remotely. But yes, applications are still open, and the way to apply is via the website on the screen there, www.knowsleycollege.ac.uk, and there is a tab on there called Apply. If you are in any of those categories, can I just really stress, though, it's important that we've got your correct email and your phone contact details, because the way that we're communicating with students at the moment is through those two mediums. So please make sure we've got your correct details. And then as soon as we know more about, for instance, enrolment or start dates and so on, we'll be able to communicate that information to you fast and make sure it's the correct thing. Okay, just a brief overview. I know that you're on here because you're listening to health and social care, but a brief overview of all the courses which we do have on offer at college. Of course, we also run apprenticeships. If you want more information about apprenticeships, the best thing to do is download this booklet here, which again is via the website. It will tell you about the sorts of things that you run. We do have apprenticeships in health and social care generally. The hours worked, the pay, and so on. So if apprenticeships is your thing, please access the apprenticeship guide there. College Pays is the way that college supports students whilst they study with us. I'm guessing that most of you are aged 16 to 18, and if that is the case, you're going to have free course fees, a free breakfast, and that is as long as you're in there in good time for your lessons. So generally, for a 9 o'clock lesson start, we'd expect you to be in college by 10 to 9 in the morning. There's a free college bus. We have a few dedicated routes, and again, the information is to be found online, which run directly between different areas within Greater Merseyside and St Helens, directly into college, and it takes you back again at the end of the night. That is just for college students. But as well as it says there in point 4, we have a free college bus pass. That may be for Arriva, maybe for Mersey Travel, it depends on where you live. But as long as you live more than 1.5 miles from college, you'll get access to a bus pass to make sure you can get in and return from college at the end of the day. Free Microsoft Office 365 and various student discounts, which include things for the NUS. Hold on here. Okay, this slide shows a few of the members of our safeguarding and wellbeing team. Nobody kind of imagined how this year was going to pan out. There's been lots of additional stresses. And I do think sometimes it's hard enough being a young person without COVID being thrown in. And no doubt you're not going to have access to school proms and things at the end of year 11. So we are aware it is a stressful time for people out there. So these people on the screen here in front of you are members, as I say, of our safeguarding and wellbeing team, as well as staff who will support you generally. But these people are experts in dealing with things like mental health, financial problems, and so on. So if you do want to link with any of these people at the moment, we can certainly do that if that is going to aid your transition. But it's important for you to know there's a raft of people going to be in college when you start who will support you with your studies. And a final slide here about keeping social with us. We've got Twitter, we have Instagram, we have Facebook. As I say, the web page has got loads of information as well to help you to find out all the information you're going to need before starting. Okay, but as I said at the beginning, the real important person here is going to be Kelly, who's one of the health and social care teachers, and she's going to explain a lot more about what's going to be involved in your course and expectations. So over to you, Kelly.
Okay. Hi everybody, I'm just going to share my screen so you can see some information as I'm talking through. Welcome to everybody. I hope you're all coping with lockdown and you're fine. This afternoon we are going to do a presentation that looks at all the levels of courses that we do at health and social care. We are a group college, so we've got the same courses at St Helens and at Knowsley. So I think that's important to know, to just say at the beginning, because if you can come to both courses, both colleges are the same, and both staff are the same. If you've got any, what I would encourage you to do is put anything in the chat function as you're going along if you've got any questions, and then at the end I'll go through the questions. I'm sure if you've got a question that you're not sure of, just put it in, because there'll be other people thinking of it too. Okay, so first of all, why you're interested in a career in health and social care. Do you like working with people? It's really important that you do like working with people, because whatever job that you work in health and social care, it will be interaction with people. So that's crucial from the beginning. I'm always surprised if you get students who want to do health and social care and don't like people. As mean as this might sound from the beginning, it's not really the career for you. You've got to be wanting to interact with people. Do you like helping people? Because unfortunately, most of the time when people come to us, they're either sick or vulnerable, and we want to make them better and happy. Have you got a caring nature? Are you understanding? Are you a good listener? If you've got all these things, even if it's just an introductory stage, this is the career for you. You've seen all the great work that's been going on over lockdown, how important health and social care is. There's never been a time that's been more important for you to be in the field. So what can we offer you? A range of qualifications that meet your individual needs. A massive group of staff that have got extensive experience of loads of health and social care industry. Because it's great to work in a classroom, but in reality, it's what you're like in the field. A range of facilities from libraries, IT facilities, placement activities, where we're up to from that. So which courses for you, which I'm sure if this is the first time that you've been to us, you're thinking, well, I don't really know where to start. So hopefully by the end of this presentation, you've got an idea of where you're going to start. We've got courses that range from level 1 to level 3, and there is a course for every student. You will be placed on your course based on based on your current, won't be current, what grades of GCSEs you get for your English and Maths in August. That's what we base our entry requirements on. And the reason we do this is because industry, when we say industry, we mean like health and social care establishments and universities, expect people working in the field to, once they get to level 3, to have grade 4 in English and Maths. Okay, some of the units that you'll be covering is just generic, meaning that you will cover them in all courses, level 1, 2 or 3. And the reasons why we have varied units is the feedback from students is they enjoy learning a variety of subjects rather than just one, and it gives students an opportunity to think, well, I really like psychology, I'd do a psychology degree, I'd really like safeguarding, I really like whatever interests you over the courses of your qualification. The aim is that you find something that you've got a passion about or you're interested about. Okay, so starting off at level 1, the programme leader is Rachel or Sarah, and the entry requirements for that programme is grade 2 in your English and maths. Somebody asked this morning, because I've done 2 of these, if you haven't got GCSEs, where do you start? Which was an excellent question, and for future presentations I will add it in. If you haven't got GCSEs, we would direct you to our directions programme, and once we finish the presentation, I'm sure Linda will be able to put in the chat where you go to if you haven't got those criteria or you don't think you're going to get them. So at the very beginning, we can point you in the direction of directions. 13 units, mostly done in classroom assessment, and the introductory modules based on the fact that it is an introductory course. Progression from this programme, when we say progression in college language, that means like where you're going to go to next. So it would be apprenticeships or health and social care level 2. You will be expected to resit your GCSEs alongside your level 1 or your level 2 programme, just to make that quite clear from the beginning. So level 2 is my programme. A photograph is definitely pre-lockdown, when hair and other things are a bit more manageable. So progression route from level 1. If you've done your level 1 and improved your maths and English, you can move up to level 2. 16 plus for enrolment. The requirements, if you're coming in straight from school, is 5 GCSEs at grade 3, so that you would resit your maths and English. If you get a 4 in your English and a 3 in your maths, this would be the programme for you, and you would just resit the GCSE that you haven't got. So that's how you get it. There's 20 units and it's portfolio based, and there is no external exams. Based on government guidelines at the moment, we are still hoping to offer placements, but we will be, that is at the moment, but we are going to be following government guidelines, so that might change from August, but we'll see where we're up to. We've got 2 level 3 programs. We've got a 1-year certificate in adult social care. The aim of this is for people who are not really looking to go to university, or are already 18 and want to do a 1-year level 3 and progress. This will be discussed in more detail when you get your one-to-one interview. So the 1-year adult social care programme is aimed at students who either want to progress onto the level 3 technical certificate, or you want to go straight into employment. If university is not what you're looking for, you want to get a level 3 qualification and you want to go straight into employment, this is what we're looking for. Okay, then we've got our level 3 technical certificate, which is the route if you are interested in going to university. And this is our programme that carries UCAS points. It's a 2-year programme split into year 1 and year 2. I'll run through it briefly so you know why we have a year 1 and a year 2. To get onto this programme, you can progress to level 3, but you must make sure that you've already achieved your grade 4s in English and maths. Entry requirements is 5 GCSEs at grade 4, including maths and English. The reason we have this is because it is a HE requirement. Anybody who's going on to a degree needs to have grade 4 in English and maths, and because you applied for university at the end of your first year, you must already have the entry requirements. A DBS is required for placement, and that will be level 2 and level 3, And further on in the programme, I'll give you a bit of an overview about DBS. Year 1 placement hours is 75, and we currently have a placement officer who will help you find a placement. There's 9 units. There's 1 controlled assessment which is external, and that's done under exam conditions. You will have class preparation time for that, but that is all done in college under exam conditions, and that is equivalent to 1 A-level. We have 2 routes. We have a non-cadet route and a cadet route. The cadet route is for students who are aiming to do primarily jobs within the NHS, nurse and midwifery, ODP. ODP are the nurses who help in the operating theatres, and paramedics. And the non-cadet route are people who are interested in non-HS based degrees, psychology, sociology, social work, teaching. So you would need to think about what your end career is going to be. If you are successful at the end of year 1, we offer you a place on year 2. To get on year 2, you've got to get an overall grade of grade C in year 1, excellent attendance at college and placements at over 90%, and complete all your deadlines on time. And the reason that we have these deadlines and progression routes is because I'm sure, as you can appreciate, if you want to go into the health and social care field, we want people who are reliable and are hitting that particular level. So that's why we have those high standards, high work ethic, and a commitment to the course. Okay. Second year is a further 9 units. So you do 9 units in your first year, 9 units in your second year, giving you a total of 18 over the 2 years. Another external assessment, so 1 in year 1, 1 in year 2. An external examination of A&P, but you will have lessons all the way through your 2 years for your A&P exam. This year we were very successful. We had 100% success rate on external exams. And at the end of that course, you will get a 3 A-level, which is the minimum requirement to get into university. And within your second year, we help you through the whole process of applying for UCAS and university. We've got excellent links with John Moores and Edge Hill to help you with that process. And 100 hours in your second year. So you're ranging from 175 hours in total if you go the non-cadet route, and 300 if you're in the cadet route. And as you can appreciate, that's great for university applicants. Just some success stories. These are different activities that we do. You can see that we go on trips, we do group activities. There is displays on the wall which count for assessments. It's not really like school, not everything's in a book. It's about building a portfolio. So current success rates is we've got an 81 success rate progressing from level 1 to level 2, which is great because everyone's got to start somewhere. And level 2, we've got 92% progression from level 2 on to level 3. These are some of our fantastic students from this year. Went straight from doing level 3 into a pandemic. So you can see them all working on the front line. This was within the pandemic experience. We've got Nikita and Eleanor and Ellen. They were all photographs that they've let us take, and you know, there they are working on the front line, which is just, we couldn't be more proud of them. We've got 88% of students already got ready to go to university in September, which is great, and 12% are going into employment and other activities. So what we expect from you, just some basics which I'm sure will be very self-explanatory. If you want to take a photograph on your phone as I'm talking through it, so you know what to get yourself over the summer, that'd be great. Minimum standard, file, paper and pen. Level 1, you do a journal activity. Rachel will tell you, or Sarah will tell you a bit about that when you come into class. Internet access, because as we've experienced during the pandemic, you know, we need to make sure people have got the internet, so you can complete assignments in college and out of college. An email address that you access, then you access regularly, so that will be a method of communication. A memory stick, a lever arch file, plastic wallets, dividers, and DBS. Your DBS is £44, and you will be expected to apply for that on the day of enrolment. So you need your £44 and 2 forms of ID if you bring with you on that day. ID can range from a passport to a letter with your name and address on it. Some of you, if you've got your national insurance numbers, anything like that would be great. There's no set uniform. This was a question this morning. Have you got a uniform for college? No, we don't have a uniform. We just expect you to be smart and casual and presentable as you are representing St Helens College or Knowsley College when you're in the community. So it's crucial that you're proud of how you look and we're proud of you. Things that we don't allow: caps in college when you're in classrooms, any sort of weird and with offensive messages on, we don't really allow that either. Skills and qualities we expect you to bring. Hopefully I've been through a bit of that this morning. Basic IT skills, but the fact that you're all on this listening to me is a great start. We don't know how lessons are going to go in September. We're following information, but you might possibly have Zoom lessons. You might be doing stuff on Teams. So it is important that you do use your email, you do know how to complete assignments and attach documents to an email. Campus options, we've got St Helens and Knowsley. Both are fantastic buildings, lovely to go to, really inviting. The staff are great. They're a fantastic place to work. It's a lovely place to study. Other options, so where we're going from now is we're basically waiting for GCSE results day. So we know we'd like to meet you and what you're going to get. At the moment, following government advice, we are hoping to be open on that day and we'll meet you. Just keep your eye on social media and where we're going to go to. There might be options for other students who've not met the criteria, which is going to be directions, and you can speak to staff on enrolment day or attend one of their virtual open days, so you've got that information as well, which is fantastic. For some of the students who have already applied and you are for one-to-one interview, that will happen between Monday and Friday of next week, because we just had to get all the virtual open days out of the way. As Linda said at the beginning, please make sure you contacted the information for colleges correct. Just so you're aware, we will be ringing you on our telephones, but it will come up with an unknown number. So please don't button us. I know that if you're a teenager and it's an unknown number, you think, oh no, I'm not answering that. It will be one of us between the hours of 9 to 5. So if it comes up as an unknown number next week, can you make sure that you answer it, because for safeguarding issues we can't have any of our numbers. And that's the end of my presentation. So Linda will come back on and please ask any questions that you want and we're here to answer them. Thanks for your time.
That's great, thank you. If you can just stop sharing your screen, Kylie, now, so we can both come on. That was really, really informative. I've certainly learned a lot, which I didn't know about health and social care, and I'm sure the participants here as well have had a lot. Feel free to ask questions, as I say, in the chat, which is on the right-hand side. There's just a couple of things that I wanted to mention at this stage. Just to go over one of the things that you mentioned, you talked about a DBS, just in case people, and what they will need to get a DBS. Yeah. Just in case some of the attendees don't know at all what a DBS is, can you just explain for them, please?
Yeah, a DBS is a government requirement and it checks your criminal record and your background, because I'm sure if you think about the participants and the people that we are going to be working with, they are going to be vulnerable members of the community, and we are going to be dealing with lots of confidential information. So we need to do a criminal background check on people. I know it might sound a bit scary as a college student, but it's important that you are aware that actions do have consequences, especially if you want to work in the field. It's £44, and you can pay it in instalments, or you can pay it in the full amount. You do need to make a minimum payment of £10 in the first instance so that we can activate it. And you need to bring 2 forms of ID on the day of when you come to enrolment so we can complete all your paperwork. That'll range from a passport to, if you've got your national insurance number, where you get that, a letter that's got your name and address on it, a birth certificate, anything that basically can be a legal document that says you are who you are. If you successfully complete your programme, you can claim for the £44 back. Just to make sure that you're safe to go on placement, really. I'm sure if you think about it on a very common sense level, if one of your family members was working with somebody, you'd want them to be safe too.
Okay, that's great. I'll as you're going to be answering all of these questions, I guess I'll field them to you. So somebody has asked, how many days a week is the course?
Yeah, I seen that was a question from Jack. It depends on what course of program you're coming on, Jack, to be truthful. Most courses are a minimum of four days, and maybe 1 day placement. It depends on your course, but you will get more information on that based on what program you're going to be on. If you want to put, I mean, obviously you don't need to, but if you wanted to put what course you're interested in going on, I can give you a bit more information. September will be still. Thanks for your question, Amy. The aim is that in September we are going to be going to working in college, and everything should be back to normal. You might have some lessons in college and some lessons remotely. I'm sure if you're all watching the news, we're just waiting for government information on that. Our intention is that we are going to be back into college at some point. Our enrolment's online at the moment. I'm aware that they are working on the college system for enrolments, so we are just waiting for that information ourselves.
Okay, Lily's asked a question on the Q&A. What's a placement?
What's a placement? So, a placement is where you go and do your, like you probably in school would have called it work experience. So you will, but it's a lot more commitment, and you will be treated. It's not an experience like at school. You will be expected to work as a placement to gain full understanding of the roles and responsibilities that you will be doing with that program.
Okay, great. Just another minute or two if anybody else would like to ask Kelly a question. I just wanted to reiterate again, it is absolutely crucial that we have your correct contact details so we can update you as we get more information from the government about enrolment and how lessons are going to be going ahead. And to, as Kelly said, make sure that you answer your phone over the next week if you have applied during lockdown, so we can have a conversation with you. If you don't receive a phone call by next Friday, if you could get in contact with college just on the general email, and we can get that information to the relevant tutors who will then get in contact with you. So the dialogue, the conversation, if you like, between ourselves and yourself is now, we see you as our own moving forward. One other thing that I wanted to add is there is a early years or a childcare presentation later on this afternoon at 2 o'clock, and I know some of you have already booked on to that one as well. Don't think, I know you're a lot more savvy with Zoom than I am, that you have now used up your Zoom token, if you like, because you've attended this seminar. If you've booked on both, it's the same contact details, and just come in and you will see a different tutor and get more information there. Okay, anything that you'd like to add, Kelly?
No, that's fine. Just good luck with your GCSEs. If there's anything that you're not sure of, just ask. You know, you've all been through, as we all have, quite a difficult situation. So we'd like it to be, you know, as smooth as possible. So ask questions if you're unsure. Ellie's just asked a question. Do we mix with other questions just gone? Give me a second, Ellie. Do we mix with other students or just in our age group? Normally what will happen, obviously you can't know what student's going to walk through the door, Ellie. Normally at level 1 and level 2, students are in the same age group. You normally find at level 3 there are different age groups, but not vastly different because people are coming in with different experiences.
Okay, that's great. Anybody else? So feel free to ask.
Yeah, any question, fine.
Or you have our contact details if you think of something afterwards and you think, oh, I really wish I'd asked about whatever it may be.
Yeah, just ask.
Okay, that's fine then. So I'm going to end this webinar now. Thank you so much for getting in contact during these strange times. I know, you know, it's different hours of being awake, being asleep, and this has perhaps felt a bit like going back to school temporarily, but we do appreciate the time that you've taken, and we look forward to meeting you in the future. Okay, take care everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.